Hey, what's up guys, Midge HD here, and I have a really cool model to bring you. This is the Air New Zealand 777-300ER by JC Wings in a 1:200 scale. I pre-ordered this from Collectible Aircraft Wings Australia. Their link and anything else in the video will be in the description. Check out their website, make sure you do, because they have some really cool models and their prices are really good. I mainly got it because JC Wings and Gemini Jets, mainly JC Wings though, have had problems shipping their models to retailers in the US, so I thought I'd try these guys out, and they're a really good organisation business. So anyway, this is my 7th Air New Zealand model and my 10th 777 model. I'll just give you some facts about Air New Zealand and the 777s. So Air New Zealand was founded on August 1939 and commenced operations on 26 April 1940. So it's been 75 years. They're having the 75th anniversary. It started end of last year actually, but it's mainly this year. So they've got a whole celebration of stuff. I got some free stuff from Air New Zealand because of I know quite a few people there, and I'm starting to work. I'm sort of going into Air New Zealand now, and so a whole lot of free stuff I've got. And so yeah, they started off as teal, which stands for, well, it's TEAL, which is the colours, the green and blue colours that Air New Zealand has, which they've had that since 1940, and that stands for Tasman Empire Airways Limited. Then it was bought by the New Zealand government and renamed to Air New Zealand on the 1st of April 1965, and that was also a merger from Teal and NAC, and that became Air New Zealand. Operations base is out of the Auckland Central Business District. If you know, if you've ever been to the city, you may have seen the green building, small one down near the water. That's the Air New Zealand building. The main hub is Auckland International Airport, place where I go filming at the when I do my plane spotting videos. Secondary hubs are the capital of New Zealand, Wellington, and Christchurch, New Zealand's second largest city, which was rocked by the earthquakes a few years ago. Main focus cities for Air New Zealand are Los Angeles International Airport, Sydney International, and Hong Kong Czech Lapcock. The fleet size of Air New Zealand is 105 aircraft, 15 include 777s, and 7 of those 777s are 300 ERs. The others, the rest of the 8 are 200 ERs. Destinations, there are 58 destinations internationally and domestically for Air New Zealand. For the 777s, there's a wide range of destinations. There's LAX, San Francisco, Vancouver, London, Heathrow, Tokyo, Narita, Shanghai, Nandi, which is in Fiji, Avarua, which is in Rarotonga in the Cook Islands, which is kind of a part of New Zealand, because they use New Zealand currency. Singapore, Hong Kong, they've started flying back to Singapore since 2007, since they had an alliance formed with Singapore Airlines. Then Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and they will fly to Buenos Aires, which was newly announced at the end of 2014. They'll start flying in late 2015 or early 2016. But with the 777-300ER specifically, out of all those destinations I named, they only fly these to Los Angeles, San Francisco, London Heathrow, Nandi sometimes. They fly them between the LAX and San Francisco flights. They operate them in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, but they alternate between the 300s and the 200s. And yeah. So this is in its 2014 colours, and one of my subscribers said that these colours may not be around for too much longer. Here's the front. This colour, because it was sort of like a lease colour, not lease, but the fern was leased, and the black colours are not a permanent scheme. I'm kind of happy that it's not, because I'm a bigger fan of the teal colours. I prefer the teal, the green and blue, and the Pacific Wave. So let's take a look inside and see what we got. So we've got foam. Let me bring this up a bit. Okay. We have a stand. So it's printed in New Zealand 777-300, scale 1 to 200. Nothing on the bottom because it's JC Wings. And then the blue film to protect the metal on the back, which I'll get to later. We have the gear replacements. There's the wheels, and then we have the gear doors. There's the model. So I have the model out the box. But before I show you around the model, I just want to mention a couple of things. Something that I didn't mention at the start. This was the 14th 777 to enter Air New Zealand's fleet, and the 6th 777-300ER. Air New Zealand currently don't have any on order or any due of 777s, so we'll just have to wait for the 777X, because Air New Zealand will probably place an order for that. And for those of you who live in New Zealand, or even if you're visiting and who might be going to the exhibition down in Wellington at Te Papa Museum, which is like New Zealand's national museum, they have the 737 nose of the Air New Zealand 737 nose, which came up from Christchurch, did a road trip, and then a hop across the water on a ferry to the capital Wellington, where it's now displayed until the 15th of March. So if you're going to go, make sure you go before the 15th, so you don't miss out to go into the 737 nose in the cockpit. So anyway, let's take a look around the model. And I'll start here at the front on the port side, and we start with the cockpit windows, Star Alliance logo, the first cabin door. Oh, by the way, Air New Zealand's part of the Star Alliance group, which consists of 27 airlines from around the world, and the headquarters is based in Frankfurt. KR on the gear door, part of the registration. There's the wheel. Just be a little bit careful, as you can see. Get this right here. It sort of doesn't stick in there so well. You can see it's sort of not lining up properly. This bit here right here should sit up higher, so you don't see that in there. But anyway, it's not too major. Now we come along to the Air New Zealand titles. These are the updated titles. The old ones, as you can see, the A is slightly bigger. The first A is slightly bigger than the rest of the letters. The A, the N, and the Z, or the Z, depending where you're from, used to be all slightly bigger than the rest of the letters. Just to show that it's a name. But I've taken that off, and I kind of like that feature. And there's no Pacific Wave on this. You can see all the pitot tubes and static ports underneath the business class. See right there. And we come along to the awesome G90 115B engines, my favorite engines in the entire world. And they spin as they should. Very, very detailed. There's the air deflector right there on the inside nacelle of the engine. Oops, don't want to get my hand in the way. As you can see, spins very easily. Same with this one. Spins very easily. That's a very expected feature on the 777s now. If it doesn't have it, then I don't know why. But that's a very expected feature. Then we move along to the end of the raked wingtip. You can see the red navigation light on the port side, and the strobe light. And then we have the black on the back of the aircraft. Not my favourite looking Air New Zealand scheme, but at least it's not. At least the entire plane is not black. As you can see, there's the iconic New Zealand firm, which is part of our sports teams. A lot of companies have it now. So yeah, it's not too unique in New Zealand anymore because too many things have it. So it kind of destroys its uniqueness. And then we have the famous Air New Zealand Coral that will stay on the aircraft. and there's the registration. Zoom in here without losing focus. ZK-OKR or ZK-OKR, depending where you're from, or Zulu Kilo Oscar Kilo Romeo. And then we have the rear cabin door. Now I'll turn this to the APU, one of my favourite angles of the 777 right there. And now we take a look on the starboard side. The wheel's not, it's kind of, it's not rounded properly. There's a couple of rubber bits that still stick off the front gear here, and it doesn't want to roll so easily, so it's kind of annoying. I'll get it to work. Okay, so we start here at the cockpit windows again. So there's the Star Alliance logo, part of the registration, KR on the gear door. There's the first cabin door, Air New Zealand titles, and there's the front cargo door, and the pitot tube, static ports, and all that kind of stuff. Bit of polystyrene on here. Let me take that off. Here we go. There's the G90 engine again, and there's the landing light on the inside of the wing, right there, a little grey dot. Oh, by the way, I should have also mentioned when I said about the 737 nose that's in Wellington, I will be going to that, hopefully, over the next couple of weekends maybe, or over the next 3 weeks, whenever it will be. I'll go down, I'll try and get a an in-flight video, taking off, landing, and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are interested, I'll be putting that up on YouTube. So yeah, make sure you stick around for that. And also I'll be taking a lot of pictures there and sharing my experience with you guys. Anyway, let's continue on here. There's the green navigation light on the end of the starboard side raked wingtip, and there's the strobe light right on the point of the raked wingtip. And then we have the rear cargo container door, where the base of the fern is, and then we have to the left of that the bulk bin door, and then you can see the fern. By the way, if you don't know, the fern is a New Zealand leaf. Yeah, I think you can find it in other places around the world, but it's traditionally New Zealand, and it's like a plant. It just curls over, and that's how the koru was created, because that's just a curled fern, a curled up fern. And there's registration again, ZK-OKR, and the koru. Alright, so let's take a look underneath the aircraft now. Okay, so there's the first gear. As I said, I see those rubber bits that were sticking out. It's not smoothed over. You can see a little bit of rubber, and it's yeah, not good. So there's markings under there. There's a antenna right there. There's a beacon light. Under that beacon light there's a hole for the stand, difficult to see with the black paint. And there's the gear doors and the main gears. Roll very easily. I'll just show you here. They tilt like they should. Same here. Roll, very nice. Antenna just there. I think there might be like a DME antenna. And there's the aileron, the leading edge slats, trailing edge flaps, and there's the inboard leading edge flap. There's the registration on this side though, that's the only difference. And then we continue along. There's a VHF antenna right here with the red stripes around it. And then we come down to this little bump here, which is for tail strikes, and then the access to the APU. Okay, there's a beacon light there. We have some other things we see behind the light. There's there's two dots. Those are ADF antennas. They just don't stick out. There's another antenna here. We have the overwing exits and all the markings. Very detailed. Let's bring this up close. Let me stop this from shaking for a sec. There's the raked wingtip, and come along towards the body of the aircraft. See all those markings with the flaps, slats, spoilers, ailerons. And on this side as well, see how close I can get. See, it says no step, it's just, it's upside down. You can read that? Yeah, probably can. Yeah, anyway. It says no step, it's easy to pick up on the camera. And then we have this hump here, that's the SATCOM. We have two antennas here. One is, this is the low, I think it's a low gain SATCOM, and this is the VHF antenna here ahead of it. Come down to the APU. There should be, yep, there you go, there's two grey dots in the leading edge of the horizontal stabilizer. And on this side as well, you see that. Those are the logo lights. Let's give you a better view of the tilt, how far it can tilt. There you go, right down to where it should. Aircraft should probably be up a little higher. That's okay though. Actually, before I put it on the stand, here's the configuration. There's only one configuration. It's a 3-class configuration, and very lucky to have been on all in all 3 cabins of this aircraft. All 3 different cabins. In fact, there are probably about 5 separate cabins, but the 3 in all 3 classes. So at the front there's business premier. There's 44 flatbed seats, so they are a full 180-degree recline from a normal seat right down to a bed, and it's a full size, well, not full size bed, but you know, you get the idea, enough for your body to fit in it. And that is from rows 1 to 7, so from about here to here. But yeah, okay. And then there's premium economy. So there's 44 seats in premium economy from rows 9 to 12. So about from here to here, and then from rows 23 to 31. So it's just continued all along from that point, all the way to about here, I would say. And then the rest, no, actually no, probably about there, because it comes in slightly into this part here. And then there are 244 Pacific economy seats right to the rear of the aircraft. That's from rows 34 to 60. So that brings the total number of seats on this aircraft to 332 seats, which is pretty average for this, pretty standard for this aircraft type. So what I'm going to do now is just take the, so I've got taking the blue film off the back, and it's already starting to rip off. The blue film's splitting. Do this as quick as possible. Okay, and there's the padding on the stand so you don't scratch your model underneath. And there we go, it just sits in there. Very nice. Wheels in takeoff position. And there we go, so let me take this camera off. Alright, so I'm going to end the video here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, so people can know about this and see if they want to get this model. Trust me, this model is selling out really fast. If you do not have it, get it, because you'll be paying a lot of money for them pretty soon on eBay. So yeah, make sure you get it. Comment, tell me what you thought of this review, this model. Tell me if you're going to get it or you already have it. Tell me what you think if you've got it. Also subscribe, stay up with the latest. I've got 757 and ATR. I've got 3 777s on the way, and a ton of others like these. I've got a ton of 787s, another A380, 737s, a whole lot of models on the way. So yeah, make sure you stay up to date with those by subscribing, and I'd really appreciate that. So yeah, let's give you another view here. And this is a very beautiful model. and you'll probably agree with me. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you like this model, and I will see you guys next time.